Hey guys, eman here, and you know it's a big video if I'm not singing the emote, and you know what's coming up too. You clicked on the video because the vibes are immaculate. I'm 6'7", and you're 4'5". Last time on Fortnite, we was split as a community in a giant rivalry between the Ice King, ruler of all things Frosty, and the Foundation, leader of the Seven. This broke out into an epic battle where only one came out victorious, the Ice King. While the king got what he wanted, the victory was short-lived as the Dark Voyager went and murdered the Ice King and was finally ready to show the true power of the 0 point. Whatever the hell that is. While the day was saved by us, the Looper. Give me my flowers, thank you. Save the island once again. Something was brewing a little too close to home. The visitor betrayed Agent Jones by shooting him and revealed his true identity as Geno, former leader of the Imagined Order. And the Dark Voyager revealed himself to be working with Geno. With this information and the island transforming right before our very eyes, it is time to get acquainted with this new but similar environment with creatures we met before in Fortnite Chapter 7 Season 3 Runners. This Fortnite season had to carry the momentum Showdown had throughout its season and fix the issue Showdown had near its very end, while also being different enough to make itself feel like its own thing. This season can also be considered a mixed bag depending on the people you ask, due to its unique nature by literally shattering the core BR formula by adding a brand new layer and stakes to matches. But we're getting ahead of ourselves because you know I like to talk about the entire game no matter what in the most funniest, stupidest way possible. So just like in the last two retrospectives, let's talk about the most insignificant part of the season in general, the Battle Pass. Honestly, I don't know where Stickman Eman is, so I'm just gonna cut myself off this time. The Guardian. As a tier 1, it's alright. I don't really use mech skins a lot, so you only saw me use this like at least 4 times. But I do like its set, for example, the emote and the contrail. Other than that, I won't be rocking this skin. At least it's customizable. The Void Blade. This skin is pretty chill, but I don't have a lot to say about it. It just looks like a pretty cool skin. I love the second Edit Styles colors though. Cluster. This is the meme skin. I don't like it that much, but the emote is funny and I unironically like the jam track, so he's okay in my book. Plus he's voiced by the Persona 3 Reload protagonist. Isn't that crazy? Heatwave PJ. Best skin in the past. I love this entire set. She's a fun music girl and I like my music inspired skins and she fits the quota amazingly. Even the glider is super hype and the emote is pretty damn good. Wolfie! I forgot this skin existed until I had to write this section. It's okay, but it's an animal skin. I don't wear those at all. So sorry, buddy. You're just not for me. Dylan! This skin everyone was freaking out about because she's wearing a bikini. Anyways, I really like the skin. It has something going on with it with the fur coat and all the tattoos. It's nice. Also, I like the emote. It's pretty nice too. Vanguard Sloan. Hey girl, welcome back. But she is alright. I don't have a lot to say about this set, but I am a Sloan fan and I can say it's pretty good. I have nothing else to say. Whew, boy, almost done with the pass and I barely have anything to say about these skins. And finally, John Wick, Pen and Ink. As someone who doesn't have the Reaper or the shop version of John Wick, this is great! Why are you here? The super styles are okay, nothing too much to write home about. I do like the second one though, and yeah, that's basically the battle pass. I don't know what to tell y'all. This pass was just painfully average. I don't care if any of these, okay? Only thing I got out of this battle pass was PJ. So yeah, I got my money's worth, but it's so forgettable. I just don't like it that much. But before we move on from the battle passes, I have to mention this. This season's battle pass was the most predatory bullcrap I have ever experienced while playing this game. Like, if you get the battle pass through crew for a month and hard grind it like me, you are guaranteed to not get every single reward because they purposely add stuff in order to drag out crew subscriptions. Dr. Sloan got an edit style a month before the season ended. The Guardian and the Sprite Pod bag bling, you cannot earn styles for it while not having crew. And while this problem was rectified, what do you mean for 48 hours in order to get this edit style that was advertised since day one for the battle pass? You have to give the battle pass to someone else 2 weeks before the season ends. Why? This battle pass was so predatory, and honestly I hated that Epic did this. Please do not do this for the next season and the seasons past this point. It is so annoying and just a garbage thing to do. So now that my rant is over, let's talk about the changes that happened on the map. Due to the events that transpired during Shattered, the Chapter 7 map was transformed into an entirely new beast, basically feeling like the Chapter 7.5 map, meaning almost every single POI changed. Yep, every single one. Epic makes my job harder. I won't go too much into all of the map changes, but I will mention my favorite locations, which is my new home, Sunken Shores. I hope it doesn't get destroyed next season. And this random location, Frosted Flats. But I mentioned how this was Chapter 7.5 for a reason, and that was because some locations did return, like Wonky Land and Latte Landing and Battlewood Boulevard becoming the Battlewoods. This map in general honestly was really fun to play on. More fun than the original Chapter 7 map. It's a nice change of pace, but at the same time, I kind of feel like we moved on from the last map a little bit too quickly. It already was hard to get acquainted to these maps nowadays because every single year they just change up, and this time we only been on it for slightly longer than half a year and we already changed maps. This will make maps more forgettable than normal, and I honestly hate that. Yeah, the map is good, but I want to spend more time in these chapters, in these maps, in these POIs. I want to make as many memories as I humanly can, like the Chapter 2 map. Well, now that we got to talk about the POIs, let's talk about the gameplay this season. Started off with, I'm back!
Oh, heyas! Where was you at, little bro?
Oh, nothing. I just found these little doohickeys of creatures, and I decided to do not so savory experiments on them.
Huh?
So yeah, I learned these things have 0-point energy, and I made this awesome remote. It's supposed to give the user I shoot at infinite...
What are these things called again?
Sprites. Yeah, that! So, I'm gonna use you two as experiments. So... I swear to Irene, you better not! Why, you little... Okay, I guess I gotta do the season review like this now. Great. So let's dive into the game. Hoo boy, new Fortnite season, new me, and it's time to talk about the loot pool. Yippee! So it turns out I was wrong about them changing the way we get onto the map every single season, because driving the battle bus has been reverted back to being a regular bus path. although I won't get too into it since it wasn't here on launch day. But they did do something else to the Battle Bus, but I will touch that later. Fortnite Runners has ditched the new Rivalries board and introduced a new gameplay formula to the Battle Royale genre, being the return of these little guys, Sprites. Sprites were a simple gameplay mechanic from Chapter 6, where they were basically an item that you threw on the ground, and depending on the sprite, it did a variety of things like being a mini launch pad or restoring some of your health. But in their grand return, they reworked them to be completely different by being a full-on extraction shooter mechanic. Okay, eman, you can't be negative right now. We are still early in the season review. But for real though, honestly, I do like the concept of the idea. Basically, there are many types of sprites along the island. Some are rarer than others to find, and some have better abilities than others regardless of rarity. But these are not just regular items, no. What they are is items that you can store and use from match to match. Welcome back 2021. Extracting a sprite successfully takes a bit, and the process can be interrupted by another player and you can die and whatnot. But if you successfully do it, it will be in your lobby and you can take it into another match. However, if you leave the match early or die with it, you will have to resummon it with the new currency on the map, Sprite Dust. From what I can recall, the only way you can get this dust is by completing your collection a little bit, or mainly extracting any sprite, so it's motivated for you to grab as many sprites as you can throughout the matches, regardless if you have them or not. Like I said, this mechanic is pretty cool, and honestly, I do like it, but there is an issue with this mechanic, and I have to address it, but we'll address that later. We're at the beginning of the season review, and you know, this is kind of not like a normal season review, so stick with me. Moving on from the sprites, we got a brand new loot pool, and welcome back 2021. Look, the joke only gets stale when I do it more than 3 times, okay? The loot pool in the shotguns category is essentially just Chapter 3 Season 1, honestly. With the Maven Auto coming back and the Sentinel Pump coming back, I realize I don't like these weapons that much, but there was one saving grace to this season, and that was the brand new extending focus shotgun. See, it's in the thumbnail! It was honestly pretty good, and it has been my main shotgun throughout the entirety of this season, honestly. I just like it. It's not too special, but the loot pool isn't just shotguns. There's also ARs, and I'm not mentioning SMGs because I never use SMG. We got 2 brand new assault rifles throughout the launch of this season, which was the Chaos Exploder Rifle and the Surgical Burst Rifle. The Surgical Burst Rifle, honestly, pretty solid weapon. I like it too, just like how much I like the extending focus. And then there's the Chaos Reloader Rifle. If you saw my season first impressions, you already know how I feel about this gun. It is literally the equivalent of adding Netanyahu to this game. Who really thought there was a bright idea to add an AR that can do blast damage and have the DPS that it has? It didn't make much sense, and they did nerf it a lot, so I'm not gonna get too mad, but it was cancer at the very start of the season. Like, if you opened up the Webster's Dictionary and you looked up the word cancer, it just showed a Chaos Reloader Rifle from the start of the season. But the thing that dominated this entire meta for the longest time was the pistols. Oh my god, these things were shredding the ARs. There was not really that much point in using AR this entire season. Unless you're me, because I just really wanted to use ARs instead of using pistols, even though pistols were like 10 times better. I don't know, man. I'm kind of just weird. And just to talk about the extra things that are not sprite related in this loot pool, we got these new 7 sliders, which is pretty cool movement tech. You can slide around on the ground. I keep misclicking these things, and that's about it. Look, we did get some unvolts like the business turret and the rift to go, but that's really about it for the loot pool this season. It was kind of like a back to basic loot pool again, because they were really more focused on the sprite gameplay, which It's fine, it's the new gimmick, so yeah, I hope they add more onto this season, you know? I won't really mention sprites throughout these sections except for this moment because of the repetitive nature of doing that, so stick with me. Every single week after the launch of the season, we kind of had this copy and paste weekly content drop for sprites, which took up the majority of the season's content. On Mondays, it was dubbed Mastery Mondays, which basically just lets you easily master your sprites that you already had, or more likely to grab legendary or mythic variants of the sprites. Thursday was worded to be considered Brand New Sprite Day, where a brand new variant of the sprites will drop on the island, sometimes having a brand new sprite as well with the variants that it missed out on, of course. And finally, on Saturdays, power hours were replaced with insert sprite type hours, where you had a higher chance of getting that variant of the sprite during these hours. I will not mention all the variants of the sprites because they have their own section, so these update sections will strictly be focused on everything that was outside of the sprites to keep it simple and to not repeat the same statements over and over and over and over again. For the Gone Wild update, we got 2 new rift anomalies based on sprites, being Sprite Hunt, which marked the sprite's location on the map, and Safe Extraction, which put a friend bubble around the extraction point. I know I said that I wasn't going to mention sprites, but I meant sprites in and of themselves, not like things like items around the sprite. We also got 2 brand new items, being the Shock Rocks and the Quack Snacks. The Quack Snacks was a healing item that I didn't even realize was a healing item until the last 2 weeks of the season, because its main purpose was to level up a sprite by a full level. And Shock Rocks made everybody and their mom want to be a run jack again. This season has so many run jacks, but I can't talk about it right now because that's going in a different section. We also got some unbolts, which wasn't a lot, but the only 2 that I could really give a damn about is the Hop Rock Dualies and the Lawless Stink Rifle, even though I didn't even know these things were in the loot pool because Fortnite is really bad at communicating. Yeah, that was it for that section of the video, and that was all the content we had for about a month. I get that Epic was on break, but I'm just putting it into perspective. Anyways, for the Hot Bat Summer update, Batman, Catwoman, Poison Ivy, and my girl Harley Quinn came to the island with some brand new gameplay. Well, they didn't specifically, but hey, remember when I mentioned that Battle Bus change at the start of the video? Yeah, it's that time where I mention it fully. There's a new way to get off of the island instead of on the island this time. We have a new anomaly called Battle Bus Victory Royale, where there is a chance that near the end of the match, the Battle Bus will spawn and you have exactly 2 minutes to rush on over there and hop aboard. And if you're on it when the time is up, you win! Yay! This mechanic is pretty cool, but sadly, I can't really comment on it that much. I do have footage for it, but other than that one time, the other 2 times I encountered it was on my Nintendo Switch 2. So, like, yeah, it didn't really happen that much for me personally. The only complaint I honestly have about this is that the match immediately ends once the Battle Bus Victory Royale has happened. I still wish that even if you miss the Battle Bus, you can still fight and be the last one standing. But it's kind of a nitpick, and it doesn't need to happen. And I won't say that I hope that this mechanic stays next season, because it probably isn't like the other bus gimmicks that didn't stay. We got a brand new pistol this update called the Blank Shot Pistol, and it's honestly a pretty cool and unique item. While you can use it as a regular gun, you can shoot it at a wall and it will ricochet on surfaces for a little bit. I'm not really that good with it, but I like the ingenuity of this gun, and I will always praise unique ideas like this. We also got a sniper. That's all I can say about snipers. And finally, we got new gizmos to mess around with for the sprites, which is the sprite locator that just locates a random sprite for extraction, and a extract site booster that boosts the amount of sprite dust you get during an extraction. Finally, we got a new car type, and that is the Batman's Beach Buggy, and you can glide with it, and it has some pretty cool music. Wait, that can't be it, right? For this update, we got the Spider-Man web shooters from Chapter 3 making its grand return. Isn't that swag? And then we also got the Spiral Rifle returning, and... wait. No, that's not it. It can't be all the season's content that isn't sprites. So you're telling me that this entire season's content was basically only carried by this gameplay mechanic? Where are the map changes? Where are the brand new weapons? We barely got anything that wasn't sprite related, and I think that's a big issue. So, Billy, I don't know if your name's Billy or not, but I'm just gonna roll with it. Now you understand why I structured this video this way, because I wanted to show you how little this season had if it wasn't for sprites, and why that is a problem. But before I get into that, I would like to actually talk about the sprites in more detail. Okay? We had a lot of sprites in this game, and I will go through every single one of them. All the base sprites that were added in this season was Water, Earth, Fire, Duck, Ghost, Dream, Demon, Punk, King, 0 Point, Fishy, Striker, Aura, Boss, Grim, Air, 7, Llama, Peely, John Wick, Batman, Vinny Jr., The Burnt Peanut, Iron Mouse, and Polo. Oh, that took like 3 takes. And all of the variants that we got was Gold, Gummy, Galaxy Gem, Holofoil, Cube, and Quack, all totaling up to 117 sprites in the game. Now, when you put that statistic into perspective, yes, the content was a lot. However, I do have an issue, and it is the way they handled this entire mechanic. Also, before I like to continue, I just would like to show proof. Yes, I can talk about this mechanic like this. Here is proof. I try to like this mechanic. My main issue with the sprites is how they absolutely overshadowed the Battle Royale part of the Battle Royale game, and the way that they was implemented into Battle Royale is so against Battle Royales in their core nature. Because sprites are random and some are rare than others, and there are variants that can make them even more rare, when you find one of these sprites, especially if they are rare, you as a player, when you get into a fight, you are more inclined to run from it in order to protect and extract your rare sprite. That aspect, combined with the insane movement this season with the Shock Rock, Spider-Man web shooter, Shockwave grenade, pocket items, and zero build, overdrive grenades, Rift to Ghost. Now I get why this season's called Runner. Then, okay, maybe you should focus on getting the sprites, then it's the whole point of the season. If you focus on that, at that point you're not really playing a Battle Royale, you're just playing an extraction shooter by hopping on, finding rare sprites, getting to an extraction point, or using your portable extraction to get a sprite out of there, and at that point you just leave the match and load up into the next one, avoiding fighting at all, even though that's the whole point of a Battle Royale. And you might be like, well, eman, if you really don't like sprites, you can play the season completely without picking up a sprite. And to that I say, you're right. I can do that. But that brings up a question that you just cannot deny. If you can completely avoid the main gimmick of the season and just have just as fun with the game without it, doesn't that make that a bad gimmick? Let's use last season's gimmick as an example. Rivalries are a remixed version of bounty boards. They are a gimmick that you can mostly avoid, but you still gotta interact with it because someone else can have a rivalry on you. Even if you don't partake in it, you still get impacted by the rivalries because the loot pool does get enhanced by it. Even locations get updated by it. These gimmicks work well in a Battle Royale setting because they work in tandem with it. Meanwhile, sprites, if you completely ignore them, you basically just have a regular battle royale match. There is nothing that forces you to at least mess around with them, and it doesn't massively impact gameplay that much other than basically being a equipable boon, where most are kind of situational and boring. The mechanic itself is completely fine, but because I can just ignore it completely, what's the point of the gimmick, to be honest? And what's the point of me playing a battle royale season if I don't even like the gimmick in the first place? Another issue I have with the sprites is the amount of variance. There is so many, and I genuinely feel like I'm playing a game like Still the Brain Rot, or I'm trying to actually find these little stinkers. It feels like I'm shiny hunting for Pokemon, which is the most boring part of Pokemon in my eyes. I'm not even that much of a Pokemon fan. This whole thing is just not for me. There are fundamental problems with it that completely deny the whole point of the battle royale. This season felt more like an extraction shooter than a battle royale, and I just don't like that. At the time of writing this video, sprites were confirmed to be staying, and I'm not super worried right now, but if they focus on them more than the actual season content like items, map changes, and unique gameplay, then I don't think that this game is for me. It feels like they are staying because everyone is addicted to collecting stuff rather than actually enjoying the substance of the season, which I wouldn't be surprised because there was not a lot of that for this season. I came to Fortnite Battle Royale for the Battle Royale, not for a run and hide to extract the Sprite simulator. Run and hide to extract the Sprite. Hey, that kind of rhyme. I know this section is probably the longest, but I hope that this explained my stance on these little creatures. They're honestly pretty cool, and I do like them. However, I don't want them to be the main source of content. I don't want them to overshadow the part of the game that I love. And as a person that doesn't like these things, this just isn't for me. Playing other game modes is an option, but I feel like my critiques are valid. Yo. Hey, I think I found a way to fix this, but I recommend you guys to come where the 0 point is after the season review is over. I know you're busy with that.
What did he say?
He said to come to the 0 point once I'm done with the video.
Well, alrighty, how much do you have left to do after the sprite section?
Well, I guess next up I gotta talk about the story. The story this season was pretty good, I will admit it, honestly. Basically, throughout the season, we was a part of this makeshift 7 team featuring the Singularity, Dr. Sloan, Hope, the Order, Amy, and the Visitor. Reality unknown. Ooh. Our task was to stabilize the stabilize the 0 point. Dog, it's almost a bi-yearly occurrence, man. Anyways, Hope was having visions about this shapeless man, and we was figuring out that sprites were actually making Jones feel better, so that's nice. Then Geno decided to spike his recovery pod. Yeah, the guy snitched on himself. It was crazy, bro. Geno was spying on these guys the whole time. Wait, did I say that he was a visitor? Yeah, he pretended to be the visitor. Anyways, so they know he's Geno, but Geno doesn't know that they know. Isn't that crazy? So, at the time of writing right now, it's kind of a standstill and Geno is about to do something bad. The story this season was fine. My only critique was Geno trying to poison Jonesy. Like, is he stupid? That's gonna blow your cover, man. But whatever, it's alright. It's better than chapter 4's story. Now that I got out of the way, let's start with the section that doesn't impact this season's ranking, but something I still like to talk about in these season reviews, and that is the miscellaneous category. Just like the last 2 retrospectives, this season will go over every single collab that has happened in the game in order, and we'll talk about the other modes if they got updates. Starting with this thing. Next up, we had He-Man, Not Me, She-Ra, and Skeletor from Masters of the Universe. Then we had Vinny Jr., the GOAT from the creative map Go Goated, Coach Who Cares from Rematch, Pomni, Jax, Zooble, Bubbles, and Not Gangle from the amazing Digital Circus. An outfit themed after the game goes Rambo from Rambo, Space Beth, and Snowball from Rick and Morty. Stop giving us Rick and Morty! And Dave from Dave the Diver. Next, we had Olivia Rodrigo, Supergirl, Lobo, and Crypto from Supergirl. Mongrel, Neopets Asha, Stan and Francine from American Dad, Samurai Jack, Excalibur from Warframe, Beach Bod Batman, Coastal Catwoman, Chlorophyll Ivy, and High Tide Harley, and a Batman sprite. Odysseus and Armonagon, I don't know how to pronounce your name either, from the Odyssey, and Dave Beckham. Then after all of that, we have Polo, a pro Fortnite player, as a sprite, Patrick Star and Ice Spice based off of her appearance from the latest SpongeBob movie, Little Tekka making his debut in Fortnite Festival, Spider-Man and the Punisher from Spider-Man A Brand New Day, a sprite based off of the wonderful Puerto Rican VTuber Iron Mouse, please give her a skin, oh my god, Addison Rae, Yuruchi and Kisuke from Bleach, and finally Perlicia from Arknights. If I forgot any collabs, you know the drill, they are on screen right here. You have motor skills, I trust you. Fortnite OG went to season 9, and honestly, this is the season I had little knowledge of, so who gate kept Pressure Plant from me? This POI is amazing! I have nothing else to say about OG other than this is the most I played in a while when I was just not vibing with the state of Battle Royale. Reload's doing pretty well. We got The Simpsons coming into the game, and Fortnite Reload, it showed Epic that absolutely no one gave a damn about Elite Stronghold. This mode is legit in a perfect state right now. Blitz and Arena is still getting cobwebs. No, I didn't mean they got the Spider-Man update, they just got jack crap and frick all. Honestly, not a lot happened to the game modes besides Battle Royale, Reload, and OG, but OG was legit mandatory. Same with Festival, but even that new season didn't even come with new gameplay changes or like a practice mode. Now that I'm thinking about it, the game was kind of dry in content for the past few months, especially if you wasn't a Battle Royale player since the Simpsons update for Reload happened near the end. So I guess I think I said everything that happened throughout the season. What are my thoughts? I wanted to like this season. I did. I really did. The season had good ideas, but there was always something that annoyed me that just made me not like that thing. Like sprites, and the season that showed me that don't worry, Fortnite can make a stinker season, not for me still. It is even changing how I go into new seasons. Runners had good ideas, but all it did was just make me run away from the season and just play other games. And trust me, I did play the season, but I can't give the season higher than a 5. It wasn't a good Battle Royale season. It was mediocre at best. Anyways, with Geno finally starting to really try to get his ideal world, and our makeshift 7 of a team trying to find a way to stop his plans, I think the best word to describe this season is unstable. See, the audience should get my wordplay because this season was buggy as hell. Dog, shut up. I gotta change y'all back to normal.
Okay, Stickman, man, do it. Change us.
Yeah, no, I'm not shooting you with the... no. Then what is your plan, Mr. Two Apples Tall? Yeah, about that. See, I hit you guys with 0-point energy, so yeah, you got a raw dog jump into the little spear. Yeah, sorry.
He is trying to kill us.
Oh, no. Not you per se. I mean, you guys need to return to the 0 point in order to reatomize your atoms into whatever. See, now wasn't that easy? No, I wanted to kill you, and I spared you today because we need to find a way to get home. Me and Ella cannot stay here forever.
He's got a point, you know. Even if this isn't canon to our stories, I miss my friends, alright?
Fine! I'll look for a way for you guys to get home soon, starting next season. Yay! And to you, my dear viewer that is confused, I hope you have a good day or night. This video is way too long. Just say see ya!